evening, ladies and gentlemen. In yet another unfortunate tragedy, 2 people died and 20 others were injured after about 18 coaches of a train bound for Mumbai derailed in Jharkhand early this morning. In fact, this was the Howrah-CSMT Express that derailed near 80 kilometers away from Jamshedpur around 3:45 a.m. today morning. Rescue teams were immediately rushed to the site after the derailment was notified. Now, this is the 4th incident in a spate of train accidents, collisions or derailment that we have seen in the last few months. There was a terrible train collision in Balasore last year, then Visakhapatnam, Siliguri, Gonda in the recent few months, and now Jamshedpur. These incidents have also highlighted the inadequacies in the railway safety system, human error, signal jump, signalling interference. A lot of things are being blamed, even as the government is working on the installation of Kavach 4.0 across the railway network. Now, what needs to be exactly done, what exactly is missing in a rail safety approach, that's what we will try and make sense of tonight. We will be joined by a group of experts, but first, some reactions.
एक और रेल एक्सीडेंट की खबर सुनी है। जब से ये सरकार आई है, रेल एक्सीडेंट्स और पेपर लीक में कंपटीशन चल रहा है कि कौन आगे जाएगा।
ये जो मुंबई हावड़ा एक्सप्रेस है, यहाँ पर एक दुर्घटना हुई है। 2 लोगों की मौत हुई है, कुछ 20 लोग घायल हुए हैं। ये जो रेल दुर्घटना बार बार हम देख रहे हैं देश में, कई लोगों की जानें जा रही हैं, कई लोग घायल हो रहे हैं। ये क्यों हो रहा है? इसका जवाब कौन देगा? प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी कहते हैं कि ये विकसित भारत है। जब भी किसी रेलवे लाइन की इनॉग्रेशन में वो जाते हैं, तो वो बड़े बड़े भाषण देते हैं कि रेलवे का बहुत प्रगति हुआ है इस देश में पिछले 10 साल में। पर मेरा ये मानना है कि रेलवे एक्सीडेंट्स देश में पिछले 10 साल में बढ़ गए हैं।
आज एक और हादसा देखने को मिला झारखंड के अंदर। एक ट्रेन डिरेल हुई जिसके वजह से कई लोग इंजर्ड हैं और कई कैजुअलिटीज की खबर भी आ रही है। लगातार इस तरीके के हादसे हो रहे हैं, क्या कहने चाहिए?
देखिए, इस बार के बजट में आपने देखा कि किस तरह से रेल पर बात ही नहीं की गई, जबकि पहले होता था जब भी बजट पेश किया जाता था तो रेल के लिए अलग से बजट हुआ करता था, उस पर बात होती थी। हाल के दिनों में इतने सारे ट्रेन एक्सीडेंट्स हुए, इसके बावजूद उस पर एक शब्द नहीं बोला गया वित्त मंत्री द्वारा। तो ये इससे पता चलता है कि सरकार कितनी गंभीर है इन हादसों को लेकर। अभी कुछ दिन पहले वेस्ट बंगाल में हुआ था, अभी झारखंड में हुआ, इसके पहले कई बड़ी ट्रेन दुर्घटनाएं हुई। एक तरफ आप वंदे भारत जैसे ट्रेन लाकर उसमें इतना खर्च कर रहे हैं और दूसरी तरफ जो रेल की पटरियां हैं उस पर ही ध्यान नहीं देते आप। पटरियों को दुरुस्त करना सबसे पहले ज़रूरी है, उसके बाद आप ट्रेन को दौड़ाइए। जिस पटरी में कोई ताकत ही नहीं है उसमें आप स्पीड वाला ट्रेन भी दौड़ाएंगे तो और भी खराब हो जाएगी। तो इसलिए मुझे लगता है ये सरकार हर मोर्चे पे विफल होती जा रही है। इनको सत्ता हस्तांतरण कर देना चाहिए। जबरदस्ती सत्ता को पकड़ के रख के देश को इस तरह से हर तरह से परेशान नहीं करना चाहिए।
Joining us now is Ramakrishnan TS, who's a railway expert. We have Akhil Agarwal, ex-director general of the Railway Board. Starting with you, Mr. Ramakrishnan. Also, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me on this show. Mr. Ramakrishnan, how important is it for railways to upgrade its signalling and telecommunication network? Because the CRS report that came out recently, talking about what really happened when it came to the when it came to the Siliguri accident, Siliguri derailment that happened a few days ago, they specifically said that there needs to be uniformity when it comes to the instructions that are given out, the signalling network that is used by Indian Railways. What kind of modernization efforts do you think are needed in this regard to ensure that these accidents, collisions or derailment do not happen?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much. First of all, let us single out this particular incident because this is a bizarre accident. Bizarre accident in the sense the loco driver of the passenger train, the plastic sheet of the coal that has been used for freight train has flown from that place and then completely engulfed the locomotive, and as a result the driver is unable to see anything, and he has applied the emergency brakes. And when since the train was running at 100 km/h, more than 100 km/h, due to the application of the emergency brakes, the derailment has happened. And again, thanks to Mr. Suresh Prabhu, who was the railway minister, these coaches are, LHB coaches. That is why the casualty has been only just 2. Had it been the old coaches, then it should have been hundreds. So Suresh Prabhu has taken a right decision in 2016-17 that we have to manufacture only LHB coaches which are safe. So thanks to him, and that is the reason. And then when it comes to railway, how should railway should do that? They should have waken up after the Balasore accident, because Balasore was a very major accident, and they should have woken up after that, and they should have completely, concentrated their funding towards strengthening safety at various points, whether it is cover system, whether it is upgradation of the signaling system to electronic interlocking from the route relay, from the relay interlocking that right now we are using.
Right.
Then training of the staff, and then replacement of the old assets. For example, all these rails have to be replaced at regular intervals. So every year the railway comes out with a book called the Blue Book.
Right.
That means the Blue Book is the list of projects that they have to take it up along with the funding given by the government, and the government has been giving huge funding for the last 4 years.
When we talk about funding, let me ask this question to Mr. Agarwal, Akhil Agarwal, who's also ex-DG of Railway Board. Sir, I interviewed the Railways Minister on the day of the budget, and he was very clear that, before 2014, investment on the capex for railways used to be just about 35,000 crore, and today it stands at 2.62 lakh crore, which is record-breaking in some ways. And he says that, in the last 60 years, there have been many trains that have been introduced, but during the UPA era, there would not be any sense of assessment of the capacity. But now the government is far more careful of that. But then, of course, there is also derailment and other such issues which are coming up. How do you look at this, sir?
Absolutely, there is no doubt that the railways funding has increased. It used to be of the order of 30 to 40,000, which is now 2.62 lakhs crore in this year. This is basically the capex, and basically to increase the line capacity, because number of trains have increased manifold. And if we want to ensure that there are no train accidents, and if we want to ensure that the train tracks are maintained properly, the signaling systems are maintained properly, we have to see that we increase our line capacity. What we are seeing now is that a train has derailed, the other train is just passing by, and both the train collided. Now, these type of things, because we are running so many trains, it is same thing we have seen in Balasore. That there is a train which has derailed, and the other train came, and then it collided with the next train. So unless we increase the line capacity, this same thing will continue to happen. Now, the government has already taken a decision to increase the line capacity. We have dedicated freight corridor which is running parallel to our track, and the freight trains are running on that. All these things are going to help, and this will ease the pressure on the existing lines, which will help us in maintaining the existing line.
Okay. Mr. P.P. Sharma also joins us. He's a former Joint Secretary Railway Board. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, हमसे बात करने के लिए. सर, ये जो हाल ही में जितने भी एक्सीडेंट्स, कोलिशंस या डिरेलमेंट हुआ है, इनसे रेलवेज के लिए सबसे बड़ी सीख क्या है? ऐसी क्या लर्निंग्स हैं जिसको हम आगे ले जा सकते हैं, सर?
Enough is enough. Really, it's a great tragedy that in last 2 weeks we have come across such. 2 weeks before, I think, or 1 week before the Gonda accident, there are few more accidents, and now this time. जो आपने कहा है, रेलवे के लिए सबक है कि हम सारी प्रायोरिटी छोड़कर सारा ध्यान सेफ्टी पर. अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी के टाइम पर ही जब नीतीश जी थे, रेलवे सेफ्टी के लिए स्पेशल 1 लाख करोड़ का फंड दिया गया. बहुत सारी बातें हुई हैं, कवच बनाएंगे, एंटी कॉलिजन बनाएंगे, बहुत सारा. ऐसा नहीं है कि काम पिछले 10 साल में बहुत हुआ है, लेकिन फिर भी ये जो अचानक हो रहा है, इसे तुरंत रोका जाना चाहिए. और उसके लिए मेरी अपनी समझ से, आई हैव बीन HR इन द ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, हमारे कर्मचारियों को, स्टाफ को वर्क कल्चर सिखाना होगा. लेकिन क्या वो वर्क कल्चर रेलवे के लिए आइसोलेटेड है? क्या मेरे अंदर कई गुस्से की लहरें उठ रही हैं. यूपीएससी तक में हमने क्या किया, नीट में क्या किया, सारे एग्जाम सिस्टम में क्या किया. 50 बार हमारे पेपर लीक होते हैं. ये जो भर्तियां हो रही है, जो वर्क कल्चर कहाँ से आएगी? गोंडा वाले मामले में ट्रैक अलग नहीं हो रहा, डेविएट नहीं कर रहा, मैं उस ट्रेजेडी को सोच रहा हूँ कि आखिर हम कब सीखेंगे कि कोई डेडिकेशन होती है क्या हमारे घर का ही, जब तक वो नहीं होगा। तो इसलिए सबसे पहले, और दूसरे, हम इन सारी बातों को, रेलवे पर फोकस कितना कम है, पूरे रेलवे बजट में रेलवे के बारे में एक शब्द नहीं था। उसके बाद में रेल मंत्री जी ने, जो बड़े कॉम्पिटेंट हैं, योग्य हैं निश्चित रूप से, उन्होंने कुछ बातें कही तो रेलवे पे पूरा फोकस ही हट गया है।
Absolutely. Let me bring in Mr. Ramakrishnan here. Ramakrishnan sir, when we talk about safety, which Mr. Sharma is also talking about, now safety is not isolated. It's so much to do with the human aspect of being safe, of doing work which makes you feel safe, which makes you have a sense that you have a livelihood. So clearly the people who are involved, you know, these days we keep hearing about loco pilots, and also how their jobs also needs to be less stressful. So is there a sense of looking at this from a human point of view, because railways is a huge organization? How do you ensure that the human error aspect of it also gets addressed?
Yeah, it is not just about loco pilots. Even the maintenance staff have to be, very alert all the time. That is how actually the whole railway system should work.
Do you think something like a Kavach 4.0 will help? Because that is something I'm aware that the government is very insistent and clear about, that it wants this Kavach 4.0 to be installed across railway network so that no part of India feels unsafe. So clearly there is something that the government is doing, but how much do you think that these technocratic solutions will help specifically to ease the stress and worry and also human errors that we see often?
Yeah, Kavach will help us in avoiding direct and rear-end collisions, head-on collision as well as rear-end collision. But these kind of accidents, what has happened today is a sudden application of the brake because the loco pilot is unable to see what is in front of him because the wind sheet, the plastic sheet has fallen on the loco, and then that is. See, everything has to be done in a professional way. When you know that the winds are going to be very high, and when you know that the coal is to be covered, so what you should do, you should have put a cover in such a way that doesn't fly even at very high wind speed. So professional approach is what is railway requires at every stage of the railway operations. It can't be just left to the to the whims and fancies of the individuals. So unfortunately, what I'm saying is, see, now when we have a blue book. Again and again, I am saying blue book because the government in the last 4 years have allocated 10 lakh crores for Indian Railways. And unless otherwise there is a clear objective, there is a clear theme, clear mission, vision for, how we are going to spend this particular, huge amount for the maintenance and the upgradation of the railway systems. Certainly the benefits are not going to come. And again, I will not say that the additional, we have to consolidate the existing railway network and then work on that.
Okay.
Adding new tracks is always good.
No, but that is also important, right? Because there's so many people who are basically using the train. So it's also about addressing that kind of demand, and railways clearly is the lifeline of the country. So expansion
exactly. Consolidation. What I'm saying is consolidation of the existing system. Whether it is all this consolidation of the existing system is very, very vital. And if at all the government has to spend substantially for that. For example, every blue book should have a theme. Where is the theme for every blue book?
Okay.
For example, for 24-25, it should be a safety railways.
Okay.
That should be the theme, and then the focus of spending should be on plugging all the loopholes that can create accidents for railways, and then spend on that, whether it is training of the human resources, whether it is improving the signaling systems, or whether it is replacing the old rails, or whether it is replacing the old rolling stock, anything for that matter. All these things have to be, in tandem, and then it has
Mr.
to be
Agarwal, that's
done.
a very important suggestion. I'd like to ask you, there's also this feedback that members of the Railway Board, which largely governs how railways works, that also needs to be drawn from a pool of professionals, people who understand technology, people who understand best practices across the world. Do you think that is something that will also help in revamp of railway system?
Let me tell you that railway is a department where all the members in the railway board are from the cadre. So they know the railways. They have worked in the railways for 35 years, 37 years. So as far as the expertise of the members and the chairman of the railway board is concerned, there is no doubt about that. Let me also tell you about the Kavach. Someone has just said that stress on the drivers. Kavach is one thing which is being planned to relieve the drivers. Today, the drivers running at 150 kilometers, 130 kilometers, they have no assistance, in the sense that if a driver runs a red signal, there's nothing what can be done. So the kavach is something where if a driver does not apply the brake because of any reasons, then the kavach will come to his assistance.
Right.
And if the driver knows that there is a assistance available with him, to that extent his tension, his stress will be relieved, and he will be able to work the train in a better fashion. That is number one. Number two, I will also tell you that we have so many trains running, and we still have more demand for the train. So there is absolutely no doubt that we have to increase the line capacity. We have to lay more tracks. We have to increase the line capacity, and that is what the government of India is doing. So probably, since the investment has started late, the fruits will start coming now, and it may take some time, but definitely the system will improve. At present, what we have to see that the maintenance staff who are regularly trained, Mr. P.P. Sharma has just pointed out, he has been a joint secretary in the railways.
Right.
There is a training program for all the field staff who are running with the safety, and then after every few years they are again being sent to the training institutes.
Right.
So they are being trained regularly for their work, and they have been this safety first is instilled in them.
Right. मिस्टर शर्मा, जब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की बात आती है, जब हम इस तरह के एक्सीडेंट्स या कोल्यूशंस या डिरेलमेंट देखते हैं, जब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बात करते हैं, तो क्या वो फिक्स करना आसान होता है कि देयर आर वर्क अराउंड्स एंड वेज कि वो चीज़ जो है वो अकाउंटेबिलिटी भी डाइल्यूट हो जाती है?
आपने बहुत सही प्रश्न उठाया है. इस समय पूरी भारत सरकार इंक्लूडिंग रेलवेज इज कंप्लीटली डिवाइडेड हाउस. बर्डन ऑफ कास्ट, रिलीजन, especially, even if you start any action, they will approach many kind of commissions, political pressures. So now, but I will not go into that debate. So in my opinion, for last 1 year I will. Now we have to give focus to the kavach, irrespective of the Vande Bharat or anything. Kavach must be introduced as early as possible. Second, now our track, the Gonda tragedy, New Jalpaiguri tragedy, or many tragedies have been because of track. Though we have done an improvement in last 10 years, we have added highest number of railway track. Renewal of the railway track also has been done. But despite that, if accidents are occurring, then we have to give focus to the track also. But my third point is the training manpower. I am sure that we have to follow a model of Delhi Metro. Simply security of service will not be enough. Casteism should not be allowed. I'm sorry to say, when the highest man of the opposition leader or the ruling party will discuss only the caste and religion. So whether in budget, how many SC, STs were there, where we are going. कोई दिन जाता है जिस दिन हम ऐसी ट्रेजेडी नहीं सुनते. Coaching institute is as tragic as the railway incident.
Yes.
What were MCT doing? What were the other authorities? Only now and then. So now the railway, what the disease railway is having, the whole country is having. But let me focus on railway. Railway has been a very big organization, the lifeline of this country, and we have to focus. Absolutely. I have seen the casteism in railway like anything. Complete divided out. Okay. I think that may not be as prevalent in the British time.
Right.
Every now and then there a commission or something will be there. So, and that we have to train them, because ultimately,
absolutely, we have to look for solutions is something that I would agree on. Yes. Mr. Ramakrishnan, when we talk about the number of consequential accidents, those that entail injuries and loss of life, there is clearly, at least till 2023, the numbers had really fallen. But of course, now we do hear of this derailment. So what is your overall picture of railway safety? We keep hearing of derailment, but when it comes to actual numbers, actual work that has happened in the railways, expansion has gone up, number of Vande Bharat has increased, number of trains have increased, the kind of capex that we spend on railways has also hit a record-breaking high. So overall, what is the picture on railway safety and what is the way forward?
Yeah, I want to say first one thing. Say, people targeting Vande Bharat Express trains for the sake of targeting is not right, because we have spent, for the last 4 years, we have spent 10 lakh crores, and only 10,000 crores have been spent on Vande Bharat trains.
Yeah.
Imagine the proportion. It is just, I mean, a very small proportion, 10,000 crores compared to 10 lakh crores that we have allocated for railways. So the question doesn't, and I am also not against laying additional tracks. Last 5-6 years, we have been laying many additional tracks. We have done electrification to 95%. All is good. But now actually the priority has changed. Till now, the priority is expansion of the railway network. Now the priority is to be consolidating the existing network for the next 2 years. I am saying just for 2 years, not for many more years. Just for 2 years, consolidate the railway network with replacing all the, dilapidated equipments, and then make it fresh. And then after 2 years, again, you spend on, expansion of the network. That is what my point. And unfortunately, the railway board has to take the responsibility, because the railway ministry is looking after 3 ministries. Certainly, he will not have enough time to spend on the railway ministry, as he is spending on 3 ministries. And the railway board should actually take the proactive measures now, actually, at least now, to see that the next 1 year, all the safety measures, all the loopholes in the safety measures are addressed, and then railway becomes safer again.
Absolutely. Mr. Agarwal, last word from you, sir. Your closing remarks. Do you think a centralized approach will work here? Because like Mr. Ramakrishnan is also saying, it's a huge network. It covers the whole part of the country, and the demand is just growing. Do you think a centralized approach would help, or more technocratic, decentralized approach is what we need right now?
See, the railway has over the years working in a centralized manner, and this will work, because ultimately, someone has said just now, we have to implement things all over the railway. The same driver goes from one railway to other, from one division to other division. So we cannot have a different system in different railways. So centralized system is working. It has been working. We only have to sit together. The railway board has to sit together and find out the reasons why it is happening. It is unfortunate that in last 1 year, these accidents have happened. Some of them are freak accidents, some of them are real accidents. And I am sure that railway board must be working on it. They also must be finding out the reasons why it has suddenly increased. I will just clarify one more point. The responsibility. There is absolutely no dilution of the responsibility when there is a accident. Even these are the accidents which we come to know. There are accidents which you don't come to know. There are a few derailments of a good or something. And there also actions are taken to the extent of removal of concerned official, whosoever is responsible, from the services. So we have been very, very ruthless in taking action if there is a dereliction of duty.
So I think the most important thing is to investigate after every accident as to why did it happen, and why sort of precious lives were lost. Now all of this is happening in a system that clearly has shown over the years improvement across safety parameters, and that needs to be something that needs to be remembered and worked upon. Remember, more than 22 million people on an average still travel in 13,000 trains daily, which is why safety becomes paramount in Indian Railways, known as the lifeline of the country. That's all we have for you in this show. Keep watching NDTV for more news and updates.